Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Indeed.
Nice. All right, my name's Simon Ho. I'm the moderator for today's investor webinar with Ting, Wang, and Mena Theodorou, the co-founders of Coinstash. Firstly, thank you all for attending our webinar. It is recorded, so a recording of this session will be made available after the webinar starts. Now, I'm excited to hear from Ting and Mena, even though I speak to him every day. And I'm sure you guys are as well. Now, we have some pre-prepared material that we'll go through for about 40 minutes. And then we have a Q&A session towards the end. They'll go for about 20 minutes. Feel free to ask any questions during the presentation by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. And if you do need to leave early, feel free to do so. We'll try to get through as many Q&As as possible. But yeah, let's get this started. So Ting, let's hand it over to you.
Thanks, Simon. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. Let me know if you can't. But firstly, a very warm welcome to our first investor webinar. My name is Ting. I'm here with my co-founder, Mena, as well as most of the team from Coinstash. I don't think we need to introduce ourselves again, as you guys probably already know and very familiar with my and Mena's faces. But just for your background, together, me and Mena started the business back in 2017, and we launched the Coinstash platform in 2019. If we look back, we've hit a number of milestones along the way, but the most significant milestone of them all is by becoming the first community-owned cryptocurrency exchange in Australia. The way we achieved this is by raising $2.8 million for more than 1,400 shareholders. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. So on behalf of the team, I would like to thank you all for choosing us and be part of the Coinstash journey. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce a few members of our team who joined us after the raise since last year. So there you go. You have me and Mena on the screen. You've all heard from Simon already. I would like to formally introduce Simon. So Simon joined Coinstash in July last year as our Chief Operating Officer. Simon also takes up the responsibilities of a CFO, as he has significant experience in accounting, taxation, financial reporting, and also Simon is an admitted lawyer. Not only is Simon on top of our numbers and also compliance, Simon has also contributed very significantly to many strategic business decisions within Coinstash. Secondly, we have Loy. Loy joined us towards the second half of last year. Loy is our head of customer success and community manager. A number of you probably have interacted with Loy already when you joined our Facebook groups or asked for customer support throughout the night. And you all know how passionate Loy is about delivering the best customer experience. Loy is a high achiever, as he's a former investment banking intern, but Loy is so passionate about cryptocurrency that he chose Coinstash over a steady career in banking. So Loy will be moderating the Q&A session for today. Next, we have Garth. Garth is our manager of creative design. I see Garth as a unicorn in this space because not only does he do our product design in the form of UX UI, he also designs our marketing collaterals. So basically all of the beautiful content that you see on the website, the mobile application, as well as any marketing communications are all the result of Garth's hard work. We're very fortunate to have Garth with us on the team. In the product team, we have Dimitri. Dimitri is our senior full stack developer. Not much needs to be said about Dimitri, but I would just say Dimitri is a machine at what he does. One of the highlights that still continue to impress me until today is he basically single-handedly built the entire Coinstash mobile application within a matter of months. Last but not least, I would like to introduce our incoming CFO, Briges. Briges has spent her entire career in digital marketing as well as content creation, which are the key areas of expertise that Coinstash currently needs. Most recently, Briges was the head of digital media at the Ting Group, which is the holding company of Ladbrokes, a brand that we're all familiar with. In addition to our core team, I would like to say we also have a team of contractors as well as advisors assisting us on a number of fronts, including marketing, product as well as compliance. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Simon to introduce the agenda for today.
Thanks, Ting. As they all say, the team is the most important part of the business, and we are a very core, close-knit team. And I thoroughly enjoy working with Ting, Mena, and the rest of the team. All my sentiments are shared with the other team members. So the next part is just a quick overview of our agenda. Ting will start off by talking about our vision, Coinstash's vision. Next, we'll be talking about our achievements from a product and financial point of view. That will be myself and Mena. Looking ahead is the next part, where we talk about what's for Coinstash in the future, plus a few details of our next raise. And then we'll conclude with some Q&A. So Ting, yes, I'll let you speak about our vision.
Great, thanks, Simon. I'm back. So as we all know, there are many cryptocurrency platforms out there, and a lot of you may have used a number of exchanges or other platforms throughout your trading times. So I guess one of the biggest questions that we need to ask ourselves is, why Coinstash? So what makes Coinstash so different from our competitors? I think it all comes down to our vision. So as you can see on this slide, what we are doing, what we're about is Coinstash is bridging the gap between traditional finance and the world of crypto. So what does this actually mean? I'll unpack this a little bit for everyone. So as we all know, there's a lot of development that has been happening in the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry over the past decade. So if I just name a few of the noticeable developments, they include smart contracts, infrastructure layer solutions, layer 2 solutions. Some examples include decentralized finance, and then also over the past 12 months, there's NFTs has been the hottest topic. So as we can all see, the world of crypto is now bringing a wide range of use cases as well as potentially financial benefits. But the problem, what's the problem here? The problem that we have identified at Coinstash is that all of this is either too hard or too risky or too unsafe for the average Australian user to access. So the problem that we're trying to solve is, our vision is all about empowering our customers, including yourselves, with the right tools to unlock the true benefits of cryptocurrencies. We have already started on this journey, initially with our exchange product, now more recently with Coinstash Earn. We'll cover more about this later in the presentation.
Thanks, Ting. Crypto is more than just numbers on the screen and prices going up and down. What we're trying to do here, as Ting mentioned, is trying to really solve a real world problem. And yeah, the next part of this is talking about our achievements. So Mena, I'll let you talk about achievements from a product perspective.
Sure. Thank you, Simon. And yeah, so I guess on my side, I'm the head of the product for Coinstash, as most of you be aware, I hope. And I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on how we've changed. We've really revamped the product as in Coinstash 2.0. In version 1, I'll get a little bit technical here. In version 1, we built on somewhat of a macro services infrastructure on Azure, implemented Kubernetes, which is something for scalability. It was a system which was quite well built, but then moving forward from there, after the raise, we hired some very key employees and contractors as well, who helped us to build a version 2, which was true microservices infrastructure built on AWS, and it actually becomes a product that's as advanced as a banking level advancement of a product. What I mean by that is we now have redundancy built on top of redundancy, enabling us to, on top of our databases being backed up and replicated on demand as well, we basically future-proof ourselves from the scalability point as well as redundancy point as well, and high frequency trading capabilities. So
sorry, Mena, just on that, sorry to interrupt, but can you maybe, just for everyone's benefit, can you maybe just explain a bit more what does future-proofing means from a product perspective?
How I mean that is our product is a high frequency trading platform now. It's enabling us to have no issues if we were to have an influx of customers coming in at certain times. It also enables us to, like, it's very much built in a way where it can handle anything. And also on top of that, if there was to be some sort of disaster as such, we can, because of the way that we built a streaming system, so it's commits on top of streams and snapshots, and as such with the databases, multiple databases all replicating to each other with primaries and secondaries, we don't have, I mean, you know, there's no way that the system will, I don't want people to go and try this, but, or challenge me if you like, but there's no way the system can't handle something that we would like to work towards for the future. So it's a product that was built with those components in mind from the beginning, rather than you know, the original product, which was more of a startup product. It was something that got the system running. Now it's a lot more structured in the back end. Yeah, and that was launched in November, which is quite an achievement in itself. We did work very hard to get that product out, and I can assure you on that. From there as well, we've launched the Coinstash mobile application, and something that we did discover from there is that we need to consider a mobile first strategy from here on. We discovered that 60% of our users are navigating to the Coinstash website via the mobile device. So we're actually ensuring that every single action, that everything that can be done on Coinstash is at the fingertips first. And I mean, that's actually post now, we're about to launch Coinstash Earn, which I'm going to bring up next on the screen as well. About to launch that on the mobile application within the next week. But from there on, any other product that we do launch will be on the mobile first, and then it will come back to the web. So we're changing the way that we do it, because I mean, it's obvious that people are using their mobile devices these days much more than their web browsers. So that, yes, brings me to the next product, which is Coinstash Earn. And as part of our promise from the raise from last April, we mentioned that we would deliver Earn, and we did. And this is what I just want to stress on that, because everyone should be aware of what Coinstash Earn is. I do want to stress that it is just the beginning of the product. There is a lot more that we want to do with Coinstash Earn, and there's a lot more that we are currently doing in the background, which is enabling us to be so competitive. And from that, like, it's going to enable us from what we're actually planning, which is to dedicate a lot more time and focus on Coinstash Earn. It's going to enable us to blow the competition out of the water, in effect, for the Australian market. The next thing I want to mention is, from a product perspective, is our consideration of user engagement. As taking a product-led approach and considering user engagement is where we've started to change our thought process moving forward. How we've started with that and how we're learning from that is by integrating Intercom, Microsoft Clarity, and a new verification system called Core KYC. So basically, the Core KYC enables for people to verify much easier and much more accurately, get their accounts active a lot faster. We did some tests in the industry, and we believe we have the best sign up to verification process. Clarity, Microsoft Clarity enables us to monitor like the actions and how people are doing actions. It's not just, it's heat maps, but it's also recordings, it's also devices and interactions and rage clicks and all that kind of stuff. So it helps us understand the user's engagement onto the websites. And Intercom is, I mean, industry's leading user engagement platform. So we've integrated that, and we've started to build series on top of that to basically curate the customer to where we want the customers to go. The last thing I wanted to mention was Coinstash Private, which is something that you can consider is like private banking. You basically get a personal account manager and access to trade volume rebates, as well as earn rates, increased earn rates as rebates as well. some of you may already be aware of Coinstash Private is something that we're working to bring more people into. So if you do have an interest as well, I just wanted to add this as well. If you have an interest in learning about these trade volume rebates and obviously the earn rates increase for Coinstash Earn, just you can contact me after this, or you can write me a message in here. You should all know my email, but it's mena@coinstash.com.au if you don't. Yep. And yes, sorry. And the other things I wanted to mention as well, the other two products which we've mentioned as well is Coinstash Borrow and Coinstash Spend. Just to touch on these, we haven't forgotten about these, and we're still on track with these. Borrow is still on track for this year to launch, and Spend is for next year. And but I think there's a lot of focus at the moment where we can spend on Coinstash Earn, making sure that product is industry, being laser focused on making sure that product is the industry go-to for anyone to consider an earning space in the earning space. Yep.
Thanks, Mena. As a Coinstash customer myself, I'm a very happy Coinstash Earn user, so earning 4.2% on my stables. So great, Mena, for taking us through the product. I can really see Coinstash positioning itself to transform into something more than just an exchange, with the Earn, Borrow, and Spend coming out. That's where the future is. Now, the next part of this is me talking about our growth and our numbers. So obviously the market over the last calendar year has been very bullish, and Coinstash has ridden the waves of that. As you can see, our sign-up growth has been about 531%. So what that means is, comparing the calendar year 2020 and 2021, our signups have increased from about 1,300 to 8,500, so 8,500, which has brought our total users count from 1,500 at the beginning of last year to 10,000, just over 10,000 at the end of last year. And that's 561% growth. Our volume traded during, comparing the two calendar years has also seen significant growth, 6.7 million across the calendar year 2020 and 28.3 million last year. Our revenue growth is about 134,000 in 2020 and 334,000 in calendar year 2021. Ignore the typo there with the millions. Now, in terms of year-to-date revenue and volume, if I extrapolate our half-year growth to the full year, we're on track to beat what the volume traded, what we did last year. So, and just keep in mind that in terms of over the last few years, our volume has really just been the exchange product. Now we've launched Earn. At the moment we are earning a healthy margin on our Earn product, and we expect our revenue to be diversified across other non-transactional revenue streams. So, buying and selling crypto is transactional. That goes up and down depending on how the market feels. You can see with Coinbase, their volumes go up and down as well. We're transitioning more into a non-transactional type revenue where, depending on the value of the assets held, we earn a certain percentage as shareholders in the company. Now, of course, we pay our customers a flat rate as well. So we are seeing our revenue diversify, and at the same time, our exchange revenue, we are on track to beat last year's calendar. So all in all, our performance from a financial perspective has been impressive, and I think Ting will talk more about later on about what our plans are for the future and how we can continue this solid performance. So I'll hand it over now to Ting to talk about our future roadmap and a bit of a discussion around our next raise.
Thanks, Simon. I think Mena already touched on in detail about our future product roadmap. So what I'm here to talk about is over the next 12 to 18 months, what are the key drivers for the future success from a business perspective. So as Simon has mentioned, right now, I believe that Coinstash is at a pivotal point for our growth. So on one hand, we have had some current wins. As we have seen from the numbers, we have some consistent growth to date. We have already done the hard yards by building a scalable product. Obviously, being able to scale is very important. We build that to a high standard. We also have secured some competitive advantage, including by acquiring an Australian financial services licensee company, as well as a responsible manager to help us run that. On the other hand, there's also, as we all know, there's also increased competition in the market, and competitors are basically fighting more or less for the same market share. So what we believe in is now is a crucial time to really differentiate ourselves from the rest of the competition and really double down on our growth. Some of the key drivers of our success is outlined on the right-hand side of the presentation. They are product management, building up our war chest in terms of future capital raise, developing and executing a pragmatic go-to-market strategy, as well as securing key partnerships. So if I can go to the next slide. So one thing that both myself and also the team is very excited to share is that after months of pitching, due diligence, and also negotiations, we have secured a strategic investor, which is Fastlane Solutions. So Fastlane Solutions is dedicated to help Coinstash in ticking all these boxes I mentioned in the previous slide. Fastlane has a track record of working with startups, as well as scale-ups in all these three fronts. So their team consists of people coming from a diverse range of backgrounds, including but not limited to technology, product development, as well as corporate advisory. Having Fastlane Solutions on board, it shows that we have received a stamp of approval within the wholesale investor universe. In their proposal to us, they proposed, in addition to 6 figures in cash injection, Fastlane is also injecting into the business. They are also adding meaningful 7 figures in value to the Coinstash business in the form of product optimization, marketing, capital raise assistance, and also partnerships. If I can go to the next slide, over the next 18 months, I want us to be very, very ambitious. Some of the key milestones that we aim to hit as a business, including reaching meaningful 6-figure users, refine the current products, and launch additional products, as Mena mentioned. This includes Coinstash Borrow and Spend, as well as strive towards $1 billion in asset under management. I know these numbers seems to be ambitious, but it's very important for us to set these aggressive targets for the business to be able to grow. What I want to say by finishing this slide is hitting these ambitious goals requires resources, and that's why we're raising additional capital towards that. So before I start on this slide, to talk about our Series A, I really want to answer one question that's in a lot of your heads, which is, how has the value of your shares changed? So we have spoken about the Coinstash vision. I've spoken about our position in the market, our product, and all the progress we've made so far. What I can assure you is that the team here at Coinstash is very dedicated towards adding value to the business, and therefore also adding value to your investment. We have already seen the last traded share price at 20 cents per share. That's between 2 private investors. And this marks a 33% increase on the previous share price at 15 cents, which is what you guys got in at the virtual equity crowdfunding campaign. What's more impressive is this is despite the fact that if we all follow the price of Bitcoin, that's an indicator of the performance of the industry. Bitcoin has actually lost more than 40% of its value over the same period. From seeing these numbers, I'm very confident in our team's ability to be able to execute and continue to deliver value to our shareholders. Even though our team is very capable, but they can only do so much with the current resources available to them. And this is the exact reason why we're in the process of planning our Series A. In terms of how we raise our Series A, our team has discussed at length regarding the few options that's available to us. In the end, it struck us that one of our key differentiators is that we are really a community-owned exchange, and that's very rare in Australia or overseas. So community is everything to us. and we already have a very supportive group of existing investors, which is yourselves. This is why we're very excited to announce that we're getting ready for a Series A raise, and this time it's going to be again through the equity crowdfunding platform, virtual, with our expression of interest campaign starting in mid-May. One last question I want to answer is a lot of people have asked us before this webinar, what are you using the money for? And let me deep dive a bit into this. So what we are looking to do with the money that we raise is three things. The first and foremost, it's important to capture additional market share. And I can't stress enough the importance of this. It's very important for us to scale to 100,000 users, which I think will mark an inflection point for the business. From there, the flywheel is created and additional growth should be fueled from the revenue generated by the business. This will then mean these additional profits will flow to the business and also to flow to the shareholders. The next thing I want to touch on is about product improvement. I know Mena also has already talked about what we plan to do from a product roadmap perspective, but from a business perspective, even though we have a very solid product, and even though it's highly scalable with a very sophisticated backend with very little technical debt, having said that, our competitors are also continuing to innovate on their product, so we cannot be left behind. The last thing I want to mention is about our investment, our continued investment into our regulatory roadmap. So we're actually in the process of obtaining a retail AFSL, as well as getting ready for an Australian credit license. Having additional funds in our war chest will mean that we can invest more money into our regulatory roadmap. What that means is it's going to set up additional barriers to entry for any new competitors coming into the market. So I think Simon will speak about some of the timelines we're looking to achieve as part of this race.
Yeah, thanks, Ting. So as our group of investors, you guys get to see things before they go to public. So this is our tentative timeline at the moment. Now, the only thing that's probably uncertain is the start date of the expression of interest. We're hoping to start that sometime between tomorrow and end of next week, but we'll let you guys know. Basically, what that is expression of interest. So it's a non-binding expression of interest. You guys would be familiar with that process last year. And if you do submit an expression of interest, then you get first dibs into the actual offer before it goes public. Now, the last day to submit an EOI, expression of interest, is the 30th of May. And then the day after, the offer goes live. That goes to public. And like I mentioned before, it will go to public unless it's been fully funded through the EOI. The offer closes on the 16th of June, so it's about 2 weeks. And just remember, if you do want to invest, or if you're thinking about investing in the second round, then do submit an EOI. And yeah, I think that's in terms of this timeline roadmap for the raise. Now, the next part of this is the Q&A. So are there any final comments from you, Ting or Mena, before we move to the Q&A? If not, then we'll go straight there.
I'm all good. I think, yeah, we can go straight to the Q&A.
Okay, great.
Just before we do, I did want to mention something quickly. Ting mentioned something about technical debt, which was a really good point. So yeah, and I should have said that myself. Our product doesn't have any technical debt because of how we built it. And that's where we kind of focused a lot of our time from a product perspective. We have built something that doesn't have technical debt. So that means that it does move a lot faster from here on. That's kind of like what I'm trying to explain. Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of lays the foundation for faster growth in
Correct.
the future.
So building a proper base structure with the product was extremely important, and it took a long time to do that, but we still did it in a record time. Like to launch version 2, back-end structuring and front-end November was quite an achievement. So yeah, and that's where we have a little bit of an advantage over our competitors as well.
Great. Now, so we have a really good turnout today. So thank you everyone for joining. And I can see that there's quite a lot of questions that have come through, and Loy has been helping out with answering some of them, and prioritizing which ones. So Loy, I'll hand it over to you to manage the next part of the Q&A process.
Beautiful. Thanks, Simon. Hi, everyone on the call. Yes, thank you so much for the questions that you've submitted in the Q&A button below on Zoom here. I'll try my best to collate them all and try to answer as many questions in one go as I pass them on to our panelists. First and foremost, I'll start with in terms of pre-prepared questions. I think I might aim this one at you, Ting. So with a cap table of about 1,500 investors from our last year's crowdfunding campaign, we have a lot of investors asking about a potential exit strategy for Coinstash or for their investment in Coinstash. So I guess as a shareholder in Coinstash myself, do you have any plans to, I guess, list us publicly or become like a takeover target? What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Loy. And I think over the past 12 months or so, we got asked a number of times about the same question. I think people always ask us, when do we plan to get listed on the ASX? I think the more relevant question is, when will there be a liquidity event? So just by way of background, shareholders in a startup like Coinstash, they will typically get rewarded in a number of ways. Let me just lay out the options. So firstly, there's an option of going public. So that's the most obvious way to realize liquidity from your shares. One of the possibilities is getting listed on the ASX. I've actually said this many times in the past, and I'll say it again. Listing on the ASX is not one of the most plausible options that we see here at Coinstash, and there's a number of reasons for that. Firstly, ASX is very restrictive when it comes to cryptocurrency trading businesses. That's just their stance at the moment. Secondly, for us to be listed on the ASX, it requires a significant investment, and I'm talking about 7 figures or more. On top of that, there's annual compliance requirements, which can be easily in meaningful six figures per year. So having said that, getting listed on the ASX is not the only option for our investors to get a return on their shares. As you can see, we already have a last traded share price of 20 cents per share. One of the other options is for there to be simply a secondary sale. So what I mean by a secondary sale is if one investor wants to purchase shares or sell their shares, you guys can always come to Coinstash and say, I want to do this. In the past, I've actually facilitated those trades, and then happy to do that on an ongoing basis. Something also just to add to that, there are possibilities like for platforms like Virtual itself to be able to open up a marketplace for basically secondary share trading when it comes to people who invested in crowdfunding campaigns. Based on my knowledge, I don't know where they have progressed with that, but I do know that's some idea they floated in the past. Just to, I guess, wrap this up, the third option I want to talk about is obviously the possibility of a trade sale by Coinstash. If we hit our milestones, if we can reach a scale Coinstash to a meaningful, I guess, 7 or even 8-figure annual revenue business, will become, I guess, appealing targets for some acquirers. So to give you guys an example, I think in 2018, Kraken, which is a global cryptocurrency exchange, acquired a local player here in Australia. So there are definitely some M&A, which is mergers and acquisitions activities going on in the market. If that do happen, then obviously the existing investors will realize their shares. Yep. So I think that's hopefully that answered your question, Lloyd.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ting. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of investors we're keen to hear your take on that one. So thank you so much. I'll pop to the Q&A section now, and I'll start with probably the most upvoted questions and work our way down from there. First question here from an investor named Matt. This one I'll probably throw at you, Simon, as our COO. So this is around crypto regulation. So obviously, it's a hot topic at the moment, particularly with the Senate inquiry coming through last year. I guess, firstly, Simon, what's your opinion on crypto regulation in Australia? Do you think it's beneficial or detrimental to Coinstash's future success? And more so, Matt's question here is, what's Coinstash doing to participate, in these government regulations surrounding crypto?
Yeah, we saw this trend coming, this regulation trend. So that's why, last year or even before that, the company's been positioning itself to take advantage of any upcoming regulation. And one of the most obvious things we've done is to acquire a wholesale AFSL. At the end of the day, we are interested in delivering products to our customers that meets their needs. And whether that's done through a regulatory framework or at the time as right now, or what it will look like in the future, it doesn't really matter. But as long as we're delivering products which suit our customers' needs, and we want to do it in a fully compliant way. So, one of the things that we participate in is contributing our thoughts and our opinions as to what the regulatory framework should be. So with the upcoming consultation paper that Treasury has released around cryptocurrency exchanges in Australia and how they should be regulated, there's about 17 days left for the public to provide their thoughts and opinions. Coinstash is preparing a submission to that. Then we hope to help contribute our voice to shape the public opinion and regulatory framework for the future of crypto regulation in Australia. So that's something we've done. And the other thing we've done is, we've Phil Baker, he's joined as our responsible manager. Every Australian financial services licensee holder needs to have a responsible manager. And we're quite pleased that Phil has joined us. He has years of experience with Mac Bank and running funds. So he's been a beacon of wisdom for us about how to navigate the regulatory framework. And we've also had some preliminary discussions with ASIC about how do we convert the wholesale license into a retail license. And we're still exploring that path. Of course, with the election coming up, who comes into power will obviously change things. But like I said before, at the end of the day, we're interested in delivering products to our customers, which meet the regulatory requirements. And I think that's a strategic objective of ours. So that's a good question.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Simon. Now, next question here, next top question came from one of our investors named Michael. So essentially, Michael's asked, what's the next short-term business goal for Coinstash? Are there any hurdles to overcome? I might take a two-pronged approach to this and ask both yourself, Ting, from an operational standpoint and Mena from a product standpoint. Ting, I guess, what numbers did you have in mind, let's say, for the rest of 2022? And do you see any headwinds, holding you back from that? Same, and Mena, I'll pass it on to you from a product standpoint. So why don't we start with you, Ting?
Yeah, sounds good. So if I understand the question correctly, so we're talking about, I guess, certain hurdles and milestones for Coinstash. I think we've touched on briefly during the presentation about some of the key metrics we're looking to hit. In terms of the time frame in which we want to hit these key metrics, we want to hit those within the next 12 months. That's something that we have in mind. So some of the key metrics, if I can just reiterate myself, we need 100,000 users. That's at the forefront of my mind. We need meaningful 7 to 8 figures in revenue per annum. We also need to aim towards $1 billion in asset under management, given Coinstash Earn is our primary focus as a business. So if we can achieve those three numbers, what that means is it's going to put our investors and also the business in a very good position. And when I say that, I mean we can be in a very good position either to just grow the business organically through reinvesting the profits, or be a very appealing target for any potential M&A, mergers and acquisitions activities that's happening. So that's that. In terms of what are some of the hurdles that the business is working at to address. So as I guess owners of the business, neither Mena or myself are oblivious to the challenges that's going on. So maybe I'll touch on a bit from a business perspective from what I'm seeing. So obviously, number one, there is increased competition in the market. So we all know that cryptocurrency is a very hot industry. We have the incumbents. Sometimes I call them the big four. There's 4 very major crypto exchanges or brokers in Australia. We have some global competitors, and then we have some of the incoming competitors who may specialize in 1 or 2 areas. So in order for us to, I think I may answer one of the other questions as well. In order for us to differentiate ourselves from all this competition, number one, I think it's important for us to be laser focused on something that we do well. And I think right now that is Coinstash Earn. So you guys may see right now on face value, Coinstash Earn might be somewhat similar to other staking products that's out there. But trust me, I deeply believe that we can do so much better. And I mean so much better. Just to give you guys one idea, like if we can add additional tokens to the Coinstash Earn platform, that's just one way. Another way is we can, given we have the FSL, we can start exploring ways of having Coinstash Earn apply to a bundle of coins, not just to one coin or token. So those are just some of the 2 simple ways to improve our product already, and there's a number of other ways that we're thinking right now. In terms of other, I guess, hurdles or headwinds in the business, what I can say is obviously right now the elephant in the room is that the cryptocurrency is going through a bit of a bearish market. But trust me, me and Mena have started the business since 2017, and we've gone through, and that's right before the previous bull cycle. So we've gone through the right one cycle already. We've seen the craziness in 2017. We've seen the crypto winter that kind of persisted throughout 2018, 2019. And then we've seen, I guess, the market coming back in 2020 and 2021 with DeFi and NFTs. What I want to say is, like, during a bearish market, it's actually the best time to build a really good product and to build a really good business. And I'm very confident, given what we have done in the past, given our track record, given our capable team, we're able to deliver once again. Yeah, so Mena, I'm not sure. I think I probably took a lot of your script. I'm not sure if I have anything to add to that.
No, look, I do. You did mention a few things there, and just to reiterate on that, you mentioned laser focusing on Coinstash Earn. That's very much in my mind. I'm very much pro Coinstash Earn at the moment, making sure that's done right and improving on that product. And what you mentioned there, I guess, is a little bit of the process of how we're going to be improving that product. But additional to that, the business goals that I guess is another important one, which I mentioned before, is the user engagement. So ensuring, and this has actually been mentioned, I think, in another question, or so, I'm not quite sure, but the user engagement and understanding how people interact with our site is extremely important. So yeah, we've spent a lot of time focusing on its user experience, UX design as well, and on top of that, the user engagement of, you know, talking with, we've implemented intercom, we've implemented series alongside to drive the customers in a certain direction, to see where they drop off as well, to understand what they were looking at on the page when they dropped off. So that's the Microsoft Clarity side of things. The goals are all around user engagement and Coinstash Earn as a short term, to answer frankly.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Ting and Mena. I think, Mena, just to roll off on that, we have a lot of questions surrounding Coinstash's product at the moment, product offering. So I think I'll give you a bit of time. I'll run through a couple of questions we have here. So for example, Ray here, who's an investor, said at the moment he uses CoinSpot primarily for trading. He finds Coinstash a bit difficult for trading at the moment, given, you know, there's a, you know, our price charting and trading, I guess, trading history records, stuff like that. And we also have questions such as, Adam here, you know, when do we expect to see more advanced exchange features such as limit orders, APIs? I guess in essence as a whole, again, just giving you a bit of time to, you know, show off the product that you're proud of. I guess, what do you see as Coinstash's, you know, unique selling point, you know, all these competitors in the market? What's kind of our main value proposition?
Well, let me just touch on that question there with the charts. I'm not too sure, Ray, which charts we're missing for the coins, but we do have full trading history for as long as the coins have existed for every coin now. It may not have been a major update that we mentioned, but we do have everything. History is all there now. And funny you should say that, because some other aspect of that as well is when I am watching the recordings on Microsoft Clarity, I do see a lot of people go in there and click on the charts and go to, you know, different time periods, and then analyze their own analysis on a coin to see how well it has performed over time, and then make a decision whether they should or shouldn't buy. So yeah, that was something that we did notice, and we did ensure that the data is there for all the coins the only ones that wouldn't be there are the ones that potentially new coins or they don't have history, such as like XAUD, but to be honest, it doesn't matter because it is a AUD stablecoin. So to us, that's 1-to-1 at all times. Do we want to touch on to the unique selling point? Is that what you're mentioning, Loy, as well?
Yeah, I guess if possible, like, Ting mentioned in terms of headwinds, we are in a very crowded space. How do you feel like we can make Coinstash stand out from a product standpoint?
Well, right from the beginning, I guess Coinstash is aiming to become a crypto bank. So what that means is we don't just have the exchange features. We're looking to add the earn features, the borrow features, the spend features. That's, to me, that's the unique selling points of Coinstash, as well as a strong, heavy focus on user experience. Now, also accompanying that is the fact that our team, we're all crypto natives. We all have the same mindset, and in terms of the crypto natives, the crypto veterans, myself, I think I'm probably the person who's been in the space the longest. Probably, I don't know. I'd challenge anyone in this who's been in before 2013. But yeah, a lot of space and time spent understanding how the industry works and how people think. So we kind of know what people want to see. So we're working towards that. And keep in mind that, since we've worked with all of you guys as investors, it's been just over a year as well. So you would see like a huge improvement on Coinstash. And then even from that, moving forward, there is a lot more things that can come streamlined from what we've built as a baseline. One more aspect I guess I can add as a unique selling point is the point, I don't want to talk about it too much just yet, but there is somewhat of an Easter egg for Coinstash that's coming out in the near future. It will be a game changer as such for Coinstash and for the investors, but I don't want to even touch on it at all because it needs to come out with a bang. So we'll work towards making sure that's the case. And yeah, but there is some very unique selling points that Coinstash has planned that will be very much different to the competitors that are in the Australian space, especially, and globally as well. There'll be points of difference on that respect as well that make it very unique.
Just to add to that as well. So just on the topic of having unique selling points, I think, as I mentioned a number of times throughout this presentation, that we're very proud to be a community-owned exchange, and I think we're probably one of the only ones that's of a sizable that's of a certain size in Australia. What that means is we're very close to our community, and we are very aware of the power of community, especially in the cryptocurrency space. This is also why we're doubling down on expanding our community as well by doing a second equity crowdfunding campaign. We've learned a lot throughout our times in working with you guys. You guys asked a lot of good questions. We've listened. We improved on the product as a result. And also, yeah, as an example of that, I think a lot of you have become affiliates with Coinstash. We also have one of the most competitive, I think, if not the most competitive affiliate program in Australia. But we'll touch on a bit of that towards the end of the presentation as well.
Beautiful. Thanks, Mena and Ting. Next question here, our top two questions are surrounding, I guess, hiring and talent at Coinstash. So Ting, I might pass this one on to you just because, I had the pleasure of being hired by you a year ago after our seed round. So Andrew asked us here, so some large overseas crypto exchanges, so the big players, are actively recruiting now in Australia. What risks do you think they present to a small exchange or startup like Coinstash, especially when it comes to competing for talent? And I'll just add on Sean's comment as well around Briges, our incoming CMO later this month. He's saying it'd be good to see more, a more female presence in the team. Is diversity something you're actively thinking about, not just when it comes to gender, but I guess, race, background as well, when it comes to hiring, let's say, post-Series A raise?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Loy, and thanks for the very good questions. So just on the diversity point, I think at Coinstash, you guys can already see we come from, I guess, a range of different backgrounds, and also, but I think it's a very good comment that one of you made, that obviously Briges, with Briges coming in, she's the only I guess female employee within Coinstash. I guess where we're coming from is at Coinstash we definitely value a lot of diversity. I do believe, I guess, the more different backgrounds the team come from, the more ideas that we can put together. Everyone having their own perspective, that's really beneficial for the business. The reason why we haven't had much more female representation in the past is because, if I'm being honest, it's just by the current nature of the industry. The good news is we're seeing a change in that. So cryptocurrency is no longer, I believe it's no longer just focused by software engineers or people of a certain stereotypes. Is being adopted more widely as a mainstream, I guess, value add to society. So I do believe in the future it's much easier for Coinstash to being able to diversify its talent pool even more and increase that female representation. In terms of how we plan to compete for talent in the current job market, this is actually something I've been thinking about on a regular basis, given obviously my role is to ensure the team has enough resources to be able to do their best job. Just on that, we do acknowledge that there's a lot of, I guess, not just cryptocurrency businesses, there's also a lot of, I guess, fintech businesses of a certain size and scale that's been recruiting rather aggressively in the market. Not mentioning too many names, but we know there's a massive fintech business is based out of Sydney that's recruiting very aggressively. There's also a few others out there. What I really want to say is a number of ways that we have I've seen that work really well for us in the past is we are able to offer our employees more than just money. So that's really important, and that's one of the reasons why our employees have chosen to join Coinstash, despite of their leaving many good jobs and career paths behind, and also they believe in the Coinstash vision. So just on that, we are offering. So currently, our employees, they do have access to employee share options. So that's a very good, I guess, retaining point for our employees to stay with Coinstash, and also incentivize them to do a good job. As well as a lot of our employees, we just get from internal referrals because they believe in our vision, they believe in the people in Coinstash, and they believe in Mena and myself. And we actually had a lot of success with that as well. Just to I guess leaving this with a final comment, we find that if we treat our employees well, they will obviously not only do a good job in the business, but they also go out there and start being our advocates in recruiting their friends who they believe will add value to the business. So there's a lot of I guess levers that we can put there.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Ting. You know, I'm keen to see the team grow as a company, as the business grows as well. I'm so looking forward to that. I think we have time for one last question. So it's a bit hard to cherry pick here, but we do have a lot of questions surrounding Earn. So I'm going to pass this on to Mena and Simon here. So Mena, just very quickly, do you plan to list any additional assets on Earn, or any additional, like, you know, product features coming out for it? And I'll let you answer that first. And we have a couple of questions about the technicalities around, you know, treasury management for Earn, which I'll let Simon answer. So yeah, Mena, any additional assets coming to Earn or product features?
Absolutely. I mean, that's I mean, as was mentioned before, and this is very much our current laser focus is Coinstash Earn. So undeniably more assets are going to be added on a periodic basis. There'll be announcements for that as well. Addition to that, Coinstash Earn at the moment is a place where you earn rewards. So if you think about how, I mean, there's more to it that we're working towards. So yeah, as I mentioned before, there is something that we're working towards that really brings Coinstash Earn to the attention. It's not just assets as well. So so we work towards announcing that at the right time. But yeah, there's a lot to happen with Coinstash Earn. If you do have any suggestions for coins that you would like to see listed, I would love to hear that as well. I might actually consider to create a small, I do actually have a system where you can vote for your next coin. But also, if you'd like to you can just email me if you like as well. If you have a coin of interest that's probably something smaller that you'd want me to do some research into as well, because I spend a lot of my time planning planning things. So again, Mena at coinstash.com.au.
Perfect, thanks, Mena. And final question, I'll pass this one on to you, Simon. So Andrew's asked a really good question around particularly our earns offering on, Aussie dollar stablecoins. So XAUD here, which you can earn 4.2% with Coinstash Earn. Simon, I guess Andrew's kind of hinting at, like, do you see the risk of, obviously 4.2 is a very attractive rate compared to the current cash rate of 0.35%. Do you see a risk here of people, using Earn too heavily versus a standard bank account? It'd be great if you could outline, sort of what the risk involved with that is. And I guess to touch on that as well, Ting has a goal of $1 billion AUM in mind. Is that something Earn can sustain from an operational standpoint and from like a risk management standpoint as well? So I'd love to hear your take on that, Simon.
Yeah, great question. I think it was from Andrew. When we set the rates for Earn, the first thing that we considered is what is a sustainable rate. What I mean by that is that we don't want to be setting rates at like 10% or 12% and then 3 months later reducing it down to like 8%. I know some of our competitors have done that, but we did a lot of thinking around what is a sustainable rate. And the 4.2% that you see on AUD is something that we think we can maintain at least for the medium term. Of course, things might change in the market, but at currently, that's something that's sustainable. When you compare, any Earn product on cryptocurrency to a bank account, of course, yes, there is a difference here. Firstly, and it's not just isolated to us, but we're not a bank at the moment, so we're not covered by like a $250,000 government guarantee as you are with bank accounts. But in saying that, this landscape is changing, and it's not unusual for cryptocurrency exchanges to go out there and say, there are some risks involved with this product. Now, what we've done to mitigate some of those risks is, I think, something that is our strength, is that we've undergone a very thorough due diligence process as to how we generate that yield. And we don't chase higher yields. Like, we don't go out there and place funds on like a high risk DeFi protocol, for example. At the end of the day, we are interested in generating sustainable yields for our customers. And where we see the Earn product being greatly utilized is, let's say you have a good chunk of your portfolio in cryptocurrency. Maybe you allocate a larger percentage of your portfolio to Coinstash, generating a stable yield of 4.2%, and maybe another 10%, 12% goes into DeFi or like another CeFi protocol to chase the higher yields, because that's slightly more risky. So we're not playing in the risky space. We're not out here to generate extreme yields for customers. We're playing the long-term game, and we've sized our investments and our placing of the funds and our yield rates accordingly.
Perfect. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for the explanation on that one. Guys, I want to wrap up questions here. I know there are a lot left unanswered. I would recommend, if you want your questions to be answered, just forward them in an email to invest@coinstash.com.au. Alternatively, if you'd like, you can hop onto our website and just have a chat to us on our live chat desk. I manage that one there, so I can assign any questions directly to Ting, Simon, or Mena. So if you want to speak to them personally, just let me know. But I'll pass the microphone over to Ting here for his closing remarks. And thank you again for the great questions.
Yeah, thanks, Loy, for moderating, and thanks everyone for their questions. They are really, I think all of the questions are very good, and I'm glad you guys all asked these questions. So before we wrap up the meeting, we can go to the next slide. Before we wrap up this meeting, I just want to say some final words. On behalf of the Coinstash team, I really want to say thank you, all of you, for being part of the Coinstash journey. We couldn't have gotten this far without your support, and for that, we're very thankful. Like I said earlier, we have some very ambitious targets to hit in the next 12 to 18 months. And if we do hit them, we expect to deliver some significant value to the business and also to our shareholders. Having said that, these targets, they don't happen overnight, and we need your help. And we need your help in using our product, as well as spreading the word. And if you have the capacity, maybe participate in our upcoming capital raise. In terms of what are the to-do items, so I have it here. The key takeaways from this meeting, from this investor webinar, in addition to what you have already learned about Coinstash, and in addition to the knowledge that you got from getting your questions answered, is watch out for an EOI. We'll send an email to our investors as well as our customers regarding when the EOI does open. I think that's going to happen in the next 7 days. Even if you don't have the financial capacity right now, it's always good to at least submit an EOI to secure a position. The next thing I want to touch on is, if you haven't already, please do try our Earn product. It's basically hot off the press, and we have gotten some good traction already with it. You can start earning up to 24% in cryptocurrencies or 4.2% in Australian AUD stablecoins. Try it, and if you have any feedback, Mena, myself, and the rest of the team, we're listening here. Lastly, I think given we're a community-owned exchange, it's very important for us to leverage that advantage of ours. So please share and refer Coinstash to your friends. Basically, our success is your success, given you're all investors in the business. In addition to that, just as a bit of a icing on the cake, you can become an affiliate with Coinstash if you haven't already, and then start earning up to 55% commission on your referrals. Yeah. So lastly, if you haven't done so, please join Coinstash social media. We have a Facebook group, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, Instagram, you name it. Start asking questions, and I think every Monday we have started the process of selecting a community legend. So be active, be engaged in those communities, and then you will have a chance to be selected. So I think that's everything from myself and also the rest of the team. Once again, really thankful for your attendance, and really thankful for your support throughout the year. I look forward to speaking to everyone in the near future.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.